Hi there, this is Tom from BlackToad Studio, and I am here to give you the final update on my project for my Orks, which is basically a 3,000 point project for an Apocalypse game, which we've already had. However, I didn't quite have time to film a video just to show you what I finished and what I'd done in the lead up to it, because essentially time got away from me. So this video is just going to be a little video to show you the final 3,000 points, and also show you what I'm working on next on my next project. So to start with, over here we've got a nice little Walker collection over here. So we've got 6 kill cans with various weapons. I think there's a couple of Grotzukas, a couple of rocket launchers, and a Scorcher in there. They were actually quite simple to make up and paint in the end, which was quite good, because there were 3 of them I had a week before the Apocalypse game actually was, so it was good to blitz through them quite easily, because the paint scheme of them wasn't too difficult. And obviously just behind them, got 3 Death Dreads, one with all the power claws, one with a rocket launcher and Scorcher, and the other one that's got a slightly customised pair of power claws, and the heavy bolt was stuck up on the edge there. And they were quite fun to paint and build. Well, I built one of them actually thinking about it, but that was quite fun, and I do like to have all the power claws on that one, so that looked quite good. And behind that we had a Walkanaut. That was quite a simple paint job on that, just keep it simple with the red and the weathered look that I'm going for with the green. Then to the left of that we had a Stomper over here, which luckily was already done before I started this project, so that saved me a hell of a lot of time, I have a suspicion, because the paint job that I got it with was actually quite good, so I decided to leave it because I quite like the style on it. I may be doing a couple of adjustments to it. I'm probably going to try and get the arms magnetised just to make it easy to transport, because as I found out taking it to the Forge up to Warhammer World, it was not particularly fun to transport even in a box, considering it takes up half a box. So carrying that plus all my other miniatures, it was quite a pain. And at the back over here we've got 3 flyers, as you can see here. Got 1 burner bomber over here, which are, having used it now, must admit, quite an enjoyable little flyer, but very specific in its use. Only really had a couple of uses during the game. That was burning out infantry, which it did okay, but well, it's a nice model, and I just wanted something a bit different than the other 2, which I've got over on the right here, which are the Blitzer bombers. They had a mixed kind of firepower, in my opinion. They were quite good, but they hit and miss really. They when that big bomb hits, it's quite nice sometimes, but depending on what you're hitting, it really does, or how you roll to do your dive bomb essentially, can really affect the outcome on how the bomb hits and how well it hits. Other than that, I like the models. I wanted some flyers in my army, so they suited that need quite nicely. Looking forward to using them in standard games. And then finally, down here, we have the 2 HQs that I managed to get done, which was a Pain Dock and a War Boss. Nothing special on them really, they're armed as they're shown there, so Power Claw and a Twin Link Shooter. And then the Pain Dock's got as he is as normally. However, I do, in the 3,000 points, the War Boss comes with the lucky stick, just give them a bit of extra fun and games. And then of course in the middle here, we have what I think took the bulk of the time, which was the 80 boys and various Ork knobs. So sort of this back group over here, I mean all the groups came with 2 big shooters, and they've all got slugger boys. But yeah, the 2 of the groups had basically a big chopper, so that guy at the back there on the left, and then Power Claw, another big chopper, another Power Claw, and that was 80 of them in total squad wise. So actually that was that was probably, in my opinion, the most time-consuming part of the project, just getting that done over a couple of weekends, just really having to focus, really. It's just a lot of detail to paint on a lot of models, and sometimes you sort of just try and scrape past a few bits, trying to make it look good, and then you go back over and you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, because it just makes the overall look not quite as good. So although I wouldn't say they're my finest detailed models, I would say that as a group they look absolutely great. And obviously a bit of wash doesn't do any harm. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me make this particular set of models up. It's not the end for my Orks. I actually probably have in models lying around that I've collected over the last sort of year or so, enough to up to about 5,000 to 6,000 points. So I will probably be they'll be showing up again when I expand with what I've got, because I've got a lot of trucks, battle wagons, mega knobs, a hell of a lot of normal knobs as well. So hopefully we'll get this force expanded out for a kind of a solo apocalypse game for myself, and I do quite fancy a Forge World based stomper as well, just to flesh this out a bit. So anyway, that's my Orks. I will now show you what my next project in works is. In fact, actually it's already started and pretty much getting towards the end, so it'll probably only be a couple of videos on it, but I'll just like to show you anyway, because it's always good to show you what I'm doing and see what you think. And here we are. So this is my bunch of free blades. Essentially, I was going to do a house, but to be honest, I thought I wanted to, the other purpose of the project was to try out some different colours that I don't normally use in my armies, and just sort of try them out, see what they look like, just so I get myself a bit more familiar with painting different types of colour, because I wouldn't regard myself as the strongest painter in the world. Even though I enjoy doing it, I think I've still got a lot to learn on sort of colour picking and sort of shading and things like that, which I think I've gotten better over the years, but I think I've got a lot of room to improve. But as you can see here, I've got my 5 knights. So this basically consisted of a couple of Renegade box sets and a knight that I already had. I actually ended up respraying my original knight, which is the green one over here, because actually once I'd done a couple of them, I thought, oh, I could do a better job than that. So I decided to redo it, which on reflection was okay, but the only issue was the paint was a bit thick in areas, because I think I did it about a year ago, so I must have had a couple of things I'd done wrong on it and already gone over a couple of times, so I had to do some heavy washes on it just to get it looking okay. And also at the back over here, my Warhound, which I've had for quite a while, I'd started paint jobs on it before, and I've finally decided that I wanted to go with a grey undercoat this time. And I'm not quite sure on my colour scheme yet, but as you can see, it's all in bits over here. The panels are off just to give me a good chance to get into the cracks and bits at the bottom. I'm looking forward to cracking on with that. That is essentially my reward for finishing my 5 knights. So yeah, in a little bit more detail, over here we've got my yellow, or 2 shades of yellow one. I'm going to give these guys names. If you've got any suggestions, feel free to post in the comments. Just to, it'd be quite good to. I'm quite happy to name them after some of the channel's best suggestions. So just say Yellow Knight and this name or something, and we'll have a little think about it, and maybe I'll get the names embezzled on them somewhere maybe on the base or something, just so I've got a record of them. That'll be quite fun as well. There is one small thing with them, that they are all Templar affiliated. As you can see on some of them, you can see they've got the red Templar cross here and a few other bits on the shields and things, which I'm still trying to get right. Some of them are going to be pretty hard to change now because of I stuck them on, but that was a bit of a mistake. In hindsight's a wonderful thing, but hey, I'll make them look as best as I can. So we've got my yellow one here, which I actually quite enjoy doing. I've tried Imperial Fist before, and I had a colour scheme in mind, and this kind of it turned out all right. I think I could do a better job in certain places, but luckily I can probably carry on with that one a little bit more for the yellow patches anyway, because there's not too much sort of wash on that at all yet, so that shouldn't be too hard to continue with. Then I decided to go with something completely different to what I've done, which is orange. And actually I quite like it. I like the contrast between black and the orange. I tried to keep as much black on it as possible. I didn't want to go too mad, because I think it actually looks quite nice with the offset. And I used a grey on the kind of trim and the metal on the outside, and just put a bit of gold on the kneecaps to break it, or brass, as I say, to break it up a bit. And then this is actually my latest one, the middle one, which I showed you earlier, which is my green knight. I went quite heavy on the shading on some bits of this, because I quite like the green darkened down to make it look quite muddy and sort of just rusted up a little bit. Not quite in the best repair, but it's quite a style I like. And then one here, my blue. I did 2 shades of blue on this one. I think it was Caldor Sky and Macragge Blue, with some shading on top of it. I think I used the new Agrath's Earth gloss on this one, and actually I think it looked quite nice. It brought out the metal kind of sheen on it very nicely. Quite like it. So nothing too complicated on these knights as usual. And then over here we've got my last knight that I'm doing, which is going to be a metallic one. I think I'm going to go with gold and probably a chainmail silver, I think, as an offset to it. I although I must admit, having left it overnight, I quite like the gold and black. But you know, we'll think about it, and I'll see how, because it's the last one I'm doing now, and I just want to see what looks best to it before I finish any or make any final decisions on it, I should say. The bases, as you can see, I've used one of the new basing kits from Games Workshop. Actually, I really like the collection of stuff you got in it. I've tried to do some slightly different things with each one. Try to get some standing on some bits. These last two on the end, I've managed to get them standing on parts of the new terrain. Then in the middle here, sort of lots of scatter around the bottom of it. I might put a bit of height on them just to make it look a bit different. I think I tried that on the back of this one over here. Just got that on a pole there, but I might put on some corner of terrain that I've got. Obviously, actually going into the backs of these things, I tend to use two different styles on the back here. I use quite a lot of metallic dry brushing just to bring it out on the back, because I'm not a huge fan of extreme detail myself. Probably one of my big flaws, and I think some of my stuff would look a lot better if I just had a bit more patience sometimes. But for me, I have a certain standard, and it's reached that to the point where I can play with it happy enough on camera that I'm not too fussed about it. So yeah, essentially what I've got left to do on these is just definitely finish off all the bases. I've got the carapace weapons to finish off on the top. I want to go with a kind of generic one so that I can mix and match them, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that due to the colour schemes I've chosen. But we will see. If it doesn't work, I'll just have to match the carapace and stick with it. Essentially, I mean, that's how I did design them in a certain way anyway, so that's how they should be played. But it's always nice to be able to have the option of either type on the top. So yeah, I expect to have another video out of this hopefully 1 week after you see this, and then hopefully we'll then start to see some work on the Warhound after that. So anyway, thanks for watching, and see you next time.